In Thailand, the forests and the streets are in chaos. The monkeys are coming back. In large groups, they spread through villages, markets, and fields. Every roof, every street has their footprints. With a dizzying reproductive rate, each female can give birth to 2 to 3 babies per year. The wild monkey population has exceeded 50,000 individuals, most concentrated in Lopburi province. They climb roofs, snatch food, and even attack tourists. Screams echo throughout the streets. A chaotic scene where humans and nature are colliding in a cramped life between the boundary of survival. What do you think we should do to control wild monkeys while maintaining ecological balance? Leave a comment and continue following the next journey to see how Thai people deal with this phenomenon and the real reason behind it. Wild monkeys are becoming a real obsession. In the provinces of Lopburi and Prachuapkhirikan, where dense forests blend with warm climates, food sources were once abundant. They used to live hidden in the deep forests, on limestone hills. Now it's different. They flood the streets looking for people and food. Monkey footsteps echo on rooftops in the middle of markets, even in bustling tourist areas. In some places, the density is up to 90 monkeys per square kilometer, a number far exceeding the natural limit. The tug of war between humans and monkeys is increasingly tense, like a warning about the fragility between humans and nature. Wild monkeys have changed. They understand humans better than ever. They know how to open doors, rummage through trash cans, and even climb onto balconies to steal ripe fruit. When the dry season comes, the forest is bare and food is exhausted. Dozens of them flock to the village, destroy gardens, dig through trash, and cause chaos everywhere. In the group, order is very clear. The female leader always gets priority for shelter and the best food. But it is this cohesion that makes them difficult to control. The whole group acts as a unified unit, fast, smart, and fearsomely bold. Faced with the situation of wild monkeys causing trouble everywhere, the local authorities were forced to take action. A number of specialized teams were mobilized. They carried tranquilizer guns, approached each residential area, and farmed with aggressive monkeys. Every action was strictly monitored, ensuring absolute safety for both people and animals. The morning on the outskirts of Lopburi province, the space is quiet. The early morning sunlight filters through the treetops, shining on the group of wildlife control hunters who have been there since dawn. They are wearing camouflage, moving as light as the wind, holding tranquilizer guns with silencers. He aims carefully, takes a deep breath, and pulls the trigger.
Thank you.
A soft pop is heard. The monkey is poisoned, staggers, and collapses. The hunt ends in silence, but the debate over this control method has not stopped. Along the outskirts of Phetchaburi province, long rows of iron traps and cages were set. A group of monkeys appeared, their eyes shining with curiosity. It approached, step by step, cautiously. Then crack, the sound of the trap closing rang out dryly. The animal was held tightly in the steel frame, struggling in panic. In your opinion, which method would be more humane and effective in controlling wild monkeys? Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts. The scenario expands to America. Did you know America is facing an unprecedented invasion? The invaders do not come from weapons or armies, but from deep in the forest, the European wild boar. This species was introduced in the 16th century for hunting, but now they have multiplied out of control. They destroy cornfields, plow forests, attack livestock, and carry more than 40 dangerous pathogens. In just one night, a herd of a few dozen can turn 5 hectares of land into a battlefield. The consequences are terrible. Every year, America loses more than $2 billion, a high price for a pleasure of the past. So what do farmers do to combat them? They have tried everything. Electric fences, iron traps, bright lights, even hunting dogs. But all are only temporary solutions. In the end, hunting is still the most effective way to protect fields and livestock. Surprisingly, many state governments even allow this activity under control. In the South, especially Texas, Florida, and Georgia, wild boar hunting has become a daily routine. But don't rush to pick up a gun. You need a valid license. Follow strict regulations, and in some places, take a gun safety course. Every action we take leaves a mark. In your opinion, where is the safe line between exploitation and destruction? Type 1 to express your opinion. And that's why they're hunted so fiercely. During the day, cornfields are devastated. At night, the streets are in chaos. Giant wild boars charge into fields, tearing up the land in minutes, leaving deep mud trails and a pungent stench. They come in packs, storming into residential areas, overturning trash cans, breaking fences, and attacking livestock. Everywhere they go is wreckage. The damage is in the billions of dollars a year, a veritable nightmare in the heart of America. You must be wondering, why does animal invasion lead to such tension? Actually, the root cause still originates from humans. When forests are destroyed, trees fall, the land is damaged, nature begins to get angry. Forests lose their ability to protect. Water sources gradually dry up. Soil is eroded after each heavy rain. With no shelter left, animals are forced to leave the forest, moving closer to residential areas to survive. And at that moment, humans have to face the consequences with their own hands, the price for years of unlimited exploitation. At the sawmill, a cold sound rang out. The sound of the machine screeching. Wood dust flew in the air. Large logs were cut apart, sliding evenly on the cold steel conveyor belt. Each cut sounded dry, emotionless, like the heartbeat of a machine. But behind those wooden boards was loss. The roof of the monkeys, of the birds, of all species had disappeared. Each fallen tree was a life extinguished. The forest is not just trees and leaves. The forest is the breath, the heart beating for the life of the entire planet. Do you know how to revive the forest so that the monkeys do not lose their roof and people can live in peace like before? Leave your comments below and continue to follow the exciting scenes ahead. Winter morning, thick fog. The air was chilly. The mountain wind blew through the dense foliage, carrying moisture and the smell of earth. From a distance, a few men walked through the fog. They carried hunting rifles, sniffer dogs, and handmade iron traps. They were not hunters, just farmers. People who grew corn to make a living, to feed their children, and to protect the land. Follow their journey, ordinary people fighting against harsh nature to protect their lives.
What?
Last season, the storms lasted for a long time. The whole month of July was filled with rain and wind. Herds of wild boars returned. They flooded down from the forest, destroying the cornfields. The whole village lost the entire crop. According to statistics, the forest around the village has about 60 to 80 wild boars. They live scattered along the foot of the mountain, often appearing at night. Each herd has from 5 to 15 animals. Some weigh more than 100 kilograms, are strong, stubborn, and cunning. In just one night, they can trample a hectare of young corn, eating all the corn that has just bloomed. The farmers are helpless. They can only watch the fields being destroyed and feel sorry. In the morning mist, the sound of dogs barking echoed. The sound of leaves rustling in the cold wind. The group of farmers split up to ambush. Every time a pig appeared, they held their breath. Their eyes widened in the darkness. A few were caught. Most escaped into the deep forest. The hunt only reduced the danger, but could not end it. When hunting wild pigs, it is necessary to coordinate with the rangers. Must be safe. Do not use dangerous traps. Do not use homemade guns. A small mistake can also bring huge damage. The engine roared. The plane took off. The sky shook with the sound of metal and the wind howling. The hunters were lifted high, beginning their dramatic journey. Below, the forest shook. The wild boars panicked, scattering through the dense bushes. They tried to escape, but in vain. From above, cold eyes watched. Every little movement was detected. When the first gunshot rang out, the air seemed to shatter. One fell, then a second. The sound echoed through the mountains and forests, dry and cold. The chase became fierce. The wild boars ran by instinct. The hunters advanced by skill. In the chaos, life and death were only a trigger stroke away. Then silence. The smoke from the guns gradually dissipated. The ground returned to the smell of mud and blood. Now it was too late for them to realize their mistake. In that chaotic herd, only a few were lucky enough to escape the apocalypse. Their footsteps gradually faded into the shadows of the forest, carrying with them the lingering fear in the air. Do you think humans are going too far? Comment 1 to speak your mind. In the middle of the silent night, the deep forest breathes with humans. The rapid breathing blends with the rhythm of the wild nature, like a tense symphony. The gunshots rang out. Space suddenly shattered, leaving a rumbling echo in the cold wind. Sweat soaked in. When the prey fell, the hunter's eyes paused for a long time, filled with pride, but also a bit of silence. Like a thank you to the old forest and the wild souls that had merged into the night. The next morning, the sky was clear, the sun was up, the light shining on the fields. The scene was devastated. The corn was chewed up. The soil was soggy. Pig footprints were everywhere. Mr. Lamb, who grew more than 3 acres of corn, shook his head. They ate nearly 40% of the yield. Losing corn is losing everything. We live on this field. According to the commune report, the damage was more than 20 tons of corn, equivalent to 200 million Vietnamese dong, a huge number for the people in the mountains. Not just corn. They also plowed up cassava gardens, broke fences, and overturned water troughs for livestock. Faced with the damage, the villagers organized a watchtower. They built huts at the edge of the forest, set traps around the fields, and took turns staying up all night. Some groups coordinated with forest rangers. They mapped out areas with wild boars to monitor and control them. Night fell, thick fog, cold. Some nights they caught a few, but just a few weeks later, another herd returned. The forest was vast, there were many pigs. Cornfields were close to the edge of the forest. Humans and nature fought for every inch of land to survive. We should not destroy them completely. Wild boars are part of the forest, of nature. Let's learn to live together. Reduce conflict, not eliminate life. After that, the villagers started the new planting season again. On the dry hillsides, hundreds of hectares of land were plowed. The sound of machines roared. In just a few hours, dozens of trees were broken. Hundreds of ears of corn were half-eaten. Despite the hardship, they did not give up. Each season, the villagers replanted, taking care of each tree, preserving each row, hoping that one day the wild boars would stop destroying. Autumn has come. The sky is clear, a gentle wind blows across the hillsides. The golden ripe cornfields stretch to the foot of the mountain. Rows of modern harvesters slowly roll. The sound of the engines blends with the sound of the wind. The corn is collected into the hopper. The kernels are separated and dumped into large trucks. The fields move rhythmically and strongly, a picture of new labor of the changing countryside. The farmers stand watching, sweat mixed with smiles, no longer having to bend their backs, no longer harvesting by hand in the sun. The machines help them harvest quickly, cleanly, and completely in the golden season. The sound of the machines, the sound of the wind and laughter blend into a song of the harvest season. On the ground, a few old plowing marks of wild boars are still there, like traces of hard days. But today, on the golden fields, only joy remains. Night falls. A cold wind blows through the forest. A faint sound echoes somewhere. Maybe it's the wind. It could also be a wild boar making its way into the fields. But the people are calmer. They have experience, they have fences, they have faith. Their corn will stand. What would you choose if you were stuck on this line of survival? Comment your opinion and don't miss the next part. Don't miss the...
Yeah. Reload.
Sacred.
Start your journey in Australia's most remote wilderness, where nature remains at its most primitive and brutal. Along the Daly River, northern Australia, the jungle stretches endlessly, swallowing all sounds, leaving only the wind whistling through the wet foliage. Under the murky water, giant saltwater crocodiles, 6 meters long and weighing more than 800 kilograms, rule like ancient kings of the swamp. A year has passed. Dozens of livestock have disappeared, leaving no trace. The whole village holds its breath. The silhouette of the crocodile still silently slithers in, fast, cold, and cruel. Finally, the government is forced to allow controlled crocodile hunting, starting a fierce war between humans and beasts. In the middle of a scorching day in the Kakadu Swamp, northern Australia, the water surface shimmered like a mirror, reflecting the silhouettes of the brave crocodile hunters hiding in the blazing sunlight. The speedboat rushed forward, cutting through the waves, churning up thick black mud. The engine roared, the heart beat. From under the murky water, a giant crocodile emerged, its eyes flashing with ferocity. The hunter pulled the trigger. The bullet whizzed past, hitting the animal's brain. Everything ended quickly, neatly and humanely, but the chilling feeling still lingered in that hot atmosphere. Leave comment number 1 to discover more amazing stories, because the next part will be even more interesting.
Load. Shoot him again. Down the smile.
Yeah. Reload behind the...
Night fell. The air was thick with steam and the smell of mud. In the infrared scope, 2 red dots of light flashed across the eyes of a giant crocodile quietly emerging from the murky water. The engine roared softly. The heart pounded. The hunter held his breath, his eyes fixed on the target. A shot. The bullet whizzed through the damp mist, hitting the beast squarely in the head. The sound of splashing water. Then silence. Only the red eyes faded into the darkness. Shoot accurately or don't shoot at all. The warning rang out, short, cold, and chillingly true. That's right. A slip of the trigger would send blood and screams filling the swamp. Weak gun. That's a one-way ticket to disaster. So, true hunters only put their trust in metal monsters, like the .500 Nitro Express, .470 Nitro Express, or .460 Weatherby Magnum. Guns that carry bullets strong enough to penetrate the thick scales of a giant weighing more than 800 kilograms, aiming straight at the only point that can end that life and death match right there. In this game of survival, just a second of hesitation, a slow breath, and the hunter will become the prey.
And one more time. Just go in the neck, not the stomach.
The measure was enacted. Immediately, controversy erupted. One side asserted that this was the only way to protect people and restore the fragile balance of nature. The other side strongly opposed, saying that the gunfire and blood would hurt the spirit of the ancient river. But then, after a year, the numbers spoke. The number of attacks decreased by nearly 40%. A little peace returned, fragile as the morning dew on the water. However, the crocodile is still a sacred symbol, the ancestral spirit of the Daly region. And in the quiet of the night, the mud monster still quietly slithers away. The fear never disappears. Which method would you choose to prevent crocodile invasion?
Back up, yes on the shoulder.
And this is the biggest reason why they are hunted endlessly. Giant crocodiles slither across the lawn, proudly walking in the middle of the residential area as if this is their territory. People can only stand and watch through the glass windows, helpless before the wild animals invading their living space. When the boundary between wild nature and the city is blurred, hunting becomes inevitable. Share your opinion with a comment. How can humans and nature coexist peacefully? The scenario expands to America. Did you know America is facing an unprecedented invasion? The invaders do not come from weapons or armies, but from deep in the forest, the European wild boar. This species was introduced in the 16th century for hunting, but now they have multiplied out of control. They destroy cornfields, plow forests, attack livestock, and carry more than 40 dangerous pathogens. In just one night, a herd of a few dozen can turn 5 hectares of land into a battlefield. The consequences are terrible. Every year, America loses more than $2 billion, a high price for a pleasure of the past. So what do farmers do to combat them? They have tried everything. Electric fences, iron traps, bright lights, even hunting dogs. But all are only temporary solutions. In the end, hunting is still the most effective way to protect fields and livestock. Surprisingly, many state governments even allow this activity under control. In the South, especially Texas, Florida, and Georgia, wild boar hunting has become a daily routine. But don't rush to pick up a gun. You need a valid license. Follow strict regulations, and in some places, take a gun safety course. Every action we take leaves a mark. In your opinion, where is the safe line between exploitation and destruction? Type 1 to express your opinion. And that's why they're hunted so fiercely. During the day, cornfields are devastated. At night, the streets are in chaos. Giant wild boars charge into fields, tearing up the land in minutes, leaving deep mud trails and a pungent stench. They come in packs, storming into residential areas, overturning trash cans, breaking fences, and attacking livestock. Everywhere they go is wreckage. The damage is in the billions of dollars a year, a veritable nightmare in the heart of America. But they never gave up, never. Even though the land was plowed, the crops were ruined. The farmers still stood up. They replanted seeds, rebuilt fences, and continued to fight with nature. In the fields that had been devastated, the engines roared. Giant harvesting machines rolled, gathering rows of green vegetables under the golden sun. Dust flew into the sky, sweat mixed with soil. But their eyes still shone with faith. Because for farmers, each harvest season is a testament. People can fall, but never give up. Across the snow-covered plains of Wyoming, silence. Then a gunshot cracks through the morning fog, cold and unforgiving. A wolf collapses, its eyes still burning with wild defiance before fading to stillness. It's more than just a shot fired. It's a declaration of war between man and nature. Over the past year, More than 500 wolves have fallen, a grim testament to the relentless hunts and the effort to protect livestock from predators. Yet behind the price of peace, one question lingers. Will nature ever forgive? Deep in the forests of Montana, silence. The hunters move like ghosts with a clear purpose. Their .308 Winchester rifles are cleaned and checked with precision. Binoculars rise, tracking every subtle movement in the dark. A red beam sweeps softly through the leaves, reflecting the tense gaze of the pursuer. Their camouflage blends seamlessly with the woods, erasing the line between man and nature. The hunting season runs from September to March, when the nights are cold as steel and frost clings to every branch. Last year, 177,000 permits were issued, turning Montana into a vast battlefield where law and order coexist with primal survival. Night falls over the mountains of Idaho. Freezing cold, a howl echoes, bouncing off the cliffs like a challenge across the desolate valley. In the darkness, hunters move silently, armed with electronic sound lures and specially trained dogs. They wait. Seconds later, a gunshot shatters the silence. On average, 2 to 3 wolves are taken down each night, accounting for 60% of all hunts. The mountains of Idaho are no longer peaceful. They've become a merciless battleground between primal instinct and the hand of man. Amid the frozen plains, the wind howls fiercely. Bare pine trees shiver beneath a thick curtain of fog. Beneath the icy snow, a steel trap lies silently in wait, baited with canned fish. A stench that lures predators yet whispers of death. Each day, the hunter returns, heavy footsteps crunching through the bitter cold, checking every trap one by one. The clang of metal breaks the silence, another life caught. In Montana, about 30% of wolves are captured this way, cruel, effective, and sparking an endless debate between humanity and nature. Now it's your turn to decide. If you support wolf hunting, vote 1. If you believe trapping is the more humane method, vote 0. And this is the reason why the gray wolves are being relentlessly hunted. They are not only a symbol of the wild, but also a direct threat to human livelihoods. Each year, thousands of livestock, mostly sheep, goats, and young calves, are attacked and killed by wolves, causing devastating losses for farmers and ranchers. In many parts of the American West, the economic damage is estimated between $2 and $5 million annually, depending on the state and reporting methods. In response, federal and state governments have launched compensation and prevention programs to ease the conflict between wildlife conservation and the protection of human livelihoods. From the frozen forests of America, where the howls of wolves still echo, the story now shifts to the sun-drenched Mediterranean. Here, another threat is silently spreading: wild boars multiplying beyond control. In just 1 year, more than 300 hectares of crops have been destroyed, leaving hundreds of farmers in despair. A sudden noise breaks the silence. The wild boar herd panics, turning to flee as clouds of dust rise behind them. The distance closes, 3 meters left. A sharp, decisive gunshot cracks through the air, shattering the stillness. Dust swirls under the crimson glow of sunset as one boar collapses, marking the end of a fierce chase between hunter and prey. Yet wild boar control must follow government regulations, combining limited hunting, humane trapping, and ecosystem preservation, ensuring that protection never comes at the cost of balance. At dawn in Muala, a thick fog blankets the forested hills. The hunter moves silently, scattering corn mixed with canned fish along winding paths, the pungent scent drifting deep into the woods. In the clearing, circular steel traps are carefully set, designed to spring upward, holding the animals firmly without causing serious harm. From the shadows, a herd of wild boars emerges, snorting, sniffing, edging closer to the bait. brief silence. Then, snap. Dozens of traps spring into action, steel rings snapping shut, lifting the boars off the ground amid roaring grunts and clouds of swirling dust that shroud the forest in chaos. And this is why the herd of wild boars fled in panic. It all began with the devastation of farmlands. In just 1 year, over 300 hectares of crops were destroyed. 200 farming families suffered heavy losses, and total damages exceeded $1.2 million US. The wild boars not only ravaged fields but also attacked livestock and caused road accidents across the countryside. The once green fields of cabbage and corn now lie barren, marked only by mud and hoof prints. So when the gunfire echoed and the chase began, it wasn't just a hunt. It was a struggle for survival, driven by loss, resilience, and the unyielding will of the people to protect their land.
Hadi.
But the farmers of Muğla have never given up. They rise after every loss, planting again, nurturing hope for another season of abundance. Even as boar tracks scar their fields, they keep plowing, sowing, and protecting each patch of land with unwavering strength. Neither storms, wild beasts, nor hardship can break their resolve, because they believe that one day the harvest machines will roar once more across the fields, marking the triumphant return of humanity against the wild. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Your support is the fuel that keeps these farmers fighting and planting hope on this enduring land. In Thailand, the forests and the streets are in chaos. The monkeys are coming back. In large groups, they spread through villages, markets, and fields. Every roof, every street has their footprints. With a dizzying reproductive rate, each female can give birth to 2 to 3 babies per year. The wild monkey population has exceeded 50,000 individuals, most concentrated in Lopburi province. They climb roofs, snatch food, and even attack tourists.